So to finish off with direct proportion, guys, we're just going to look at these sorts of problems now where y might be directly proportional to x squared or x cubed or the square root of x. Okay, now you'll see when we go through the working that actually it doesn't change how you answer it too much. So we're told here that y is directly proportional to x squared. When x is 6, y is 72. So here's the working out for that problem. We've written down our statement, y is directly proportional to x squared. We have turned it into an equation, y is equal to something multiplied by x squared. We've substituted in our known value for y and our known value for x, remembering that it's not going to stay as 6 because we're squaring it. So now we've got 72 is equal to k times 36, which is 6 squared. That gives us an answer of 2 for k, meaning that our equation is going to be y is equal to 2 lots of x squared. Another variation on this might be to be told that a is directly proportional to the square root of b. And again, the way we will work this out is not massively different to what you've done for the others. However, we do need to take care in that that is a square root and not a square. So we have got our statement of a is directly proportional to the square root of b. We've turned it into an equation, a equals k times by the square root of b. We've substituted our known values for a and b into the equation, and that's given us 20 is equal to k times 2, because the square root of 4 is 2, which means that k is equal to 10. So our equation is a is equal to 10 lots of the square root of b. Okay, so what we're going to look at now, guys, is when we have to put that all together. So a little bit like what we've been doing earlier, but for these sorts of proportions where there are powers, where there are roots and so on. So x is directly proportional to z squared. When x is 27, z is equal to 3. Find an equation linking the two, and then find x when z is equal to 4. Find z when x is equal to 300. So we set up our proportion statement. We turn it into an equation. We substitute in our known values of x and z, and we get to a point where we know that k is equal to 3, so x is equal to 3 lots of z squared. That's our equation, okay? Next, we need to find out the value of x when z is 4. So x is equal to 3 times z squared. X is equal to 3 times 4 squared, because we're told that z is 4. 4 squared is 16, so 3 times 16 is 48, so x must be 48. For part B, we substitute x for 300, because we're told that here. Okay, so 300 is equal to 3z squared. Divide both sides by 3, we end up with 100 is equal to z squared, and then we have to square root both sides here, and we end up with 10 is equal to z. So guys, could you please have a go at this one? So pause the video and have a go at this example. Okay guys, you should have had a go at that example by now. So I will reveal the answers with the working out. We put our statement, we write it as an equation, we substitute our known values in. When y is 36, x is 3. Okay, we use that to work out that k is 4, because 4 times 9 is 36, and that gives us our equation. That's the first part for this. We can then answer A and B. Write out your equation. Substituting the part you know, we know x is 10. So 4 lots of 10 squared is 4 lots of 100, so y must be 400. For this one, y is equal to 4x squared. Again, we write our equation out. We substitute in the part that we know, which is 16, y is equal to 16. I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 4, and then I'm going to square root both sides of the equation to get 2 is equal to x. So guys, could you please, again, pause the video and have a go at this question. Right guys, here are the solutions for that question, okay? So again, we write our statement out, we rewrite it as an equation, we substitute in the parts that we know from our question, and we use this to find out the value of k. The square root of 4 is 2, so k times 2 must equal 8, meaning that k has to be 4. And then we write out our equation, but with 4 in place of k. So x is equal to 4 lots of the square root of y. We write our equation out. We substitute in the part that we know. So this is here, it's telling us when that y is 9 and we're looking for x. So substitute in 9 for y. The square root of 9 is 3, which is where that number comes from. 4 times 3 is 12. Finally, we are asked to find y when x is 36. So substitute 36 in for y. Divide both sides of this equation by 4. Now, there are going to be a few people that make mistakes here and think that we then need to square root both sides of the equation, but that isn't the case. If it was 9 is equal to y squared, you would square root both sides of the equation, but it's 9 is equal to the square root of y. And if you know the square root of something and you want to find what that number is, then you must square the square root. So we square both sides of the equation to get 81 is equal to y. Have a go at the questions now on the sheet, guys.